So Katie, welcome to From the Red Couch. And look, there is a red couch.
Nice.
So, and
Thanks
as
for
it turns
having
out,
me.
yes. Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm so glad that you can do this. I don't know if you saw my shirt here.
Oh yeah, right on.
Yeah. It was it was in San Francisco in 2015. You know, back when they did concerts.
Me too. I was at that show.
You were too?
Yeah.
No way. Well,
Yeah.
I'm a fan. I love that you're a go-getter. You get stuff done. To start out, why don't you give me the elevator speech on who you are as far as an artist and what you do?
Yeah. I'm a blues Americana recording artist. I've released 6 albums. I have I write all the songs, and I play guitar and piano and harmonica, as well as voice, of course. I love my band, and I can't wait to get back on the stages, and that's about it.
Okay. I have a feeling that's not about it. We're gonna prove that as we go here. So you have a new album coming out.
Yeah.
Right? The Well.
Mm-hmm.
And it's coming out in just a couple weeks, right?
Yes.
Okay. And I saw your eyes light up. Your eyes lit up when I said that. So that's perfect. So tell me, well, first off, what number album is this of yours?
6. This will be the 6th one. Yeah.
Okay. Tell me about it.
It's a unique experience in that this was done during COVID. So I basically did some phone recordings of me just playing and singing the songs raw, sent them to my band and said, here's the structure, here's the vibe I'm going for, here's the lyrics so you can really get into the story. I trust you with whatever you're going to come up with. And I feel that way because I've played with them for 3 years now, I think. And I just love whatever they bring to the table. So I wasn't worried at all. I was like, here's the song. And because of COVID, we didn't get to rehearse even once.
Wow.
We didn't rehearse. I didn't have like any kind of multi-camera setup where people are doing that right now, where they're rehearsing together or whatever. Didn't have that either. So we showed up in November to record. And
wow, just straight to recording.
Straight to recording.
I'm gonna break it down for a second. Can I break it down?
That is mind-boggling.
Here's the thing that gives me goosebumps. When we first ran through the song, The Gospel of Good Intentions, for the first time,
mm-hmm.
and I was hearing their parts for the first time, that was the take we kept. That is what you're hearing on the album. It just gave me goosebumps. But when it was time for me to do the vocal part over what they had just done, what I had just heard for the first time, I barely got through the take without crying. I was just
You're so emotional
there. Yeah, it was just such a flood of gratitude that hit me. Because at first I went in there and I was like, yeah, we're finally back, rock and roll. But then when I really got into the song and stuff, I just started weeping as soon as the take was done. And I was like, I'm sorry, guys, I didn't expect this. I'm not sad, I'm just overwhelmed.
Guitarists can weep during recording, but vocalists, not so much.
So it was just super fun. I knew that every other element, like the horns and Mick Martin, when they added their parts, I knew to just be like, here, do you. And they did, and they rocked it. And it was so exciting. And it was so funny when Mick Martin came in to do his harmonica part. He was like, okay, so what are you going for? Are you going for like a Paul Butterfield vibe? And he names all these celebrities. And I was like, Mick, I just want you to do you. Just be you. And he was like, okay. And I think he was kind of relieved too. And I'm very proud of that. Like, yeah, I'm a producer. Yeah, I have all these elements in mind, but I also know who to work with as far as my team to make it super easy. And, you know, they are mind readers. You know, when I did the song Sad Eyed Lover and I described it, I was like, yeah, I kind of want to go for like a punk rock / trombone shorty vibe. And they got it right away.
Okay. So I think this is a good spot for you to do me a favor and introduce your band and the team with the recording, because I think that's
So, okay, Neil Camposano's on drums, and he was also on the last album, Take It With You. So he's been with me for about 3 years, as well as Zach Perteau on bass. Zach Perteau is extra special in that he has multiple jobs in the band. This record going forward, I decided is my co-producer.
Did you decide that ahead of time, or did you decide that as you went?
Ahead of time.
Okay.
He's just so dang smart, and he's been producing a long time. He actually produced Jackie Green's hit record, Gone Wandering. Wow. Yeah. So he's been at it a really long time, and we actually both went to Cal State Hayward. We got our music degrees from Cal State Hayward. But what's funny is we didn't know each other while going there at the same time, which is kind of crazy.
Wow, how funny.
So then there's Chris Martinez, who joined us a couple of years ago on electric guitar. And it's funny too, because before he came around, I was fine with not having any electric guitar in my band. And I know that sounds weird, but it's just, I'm really picky about it. And it's overall, electric guitar hasn't really been a sound that's inspired me a lot, unless it's somebody that has something to say. Chris has something to say when he plays. And then
that's a big compliment, by the way. He should take that.
Otherwise, like, don't waste your time and money, or my time and money. So, and when I think about famous people out there that say something, Eric Gales is another really great example on electric guitar.
That was my last concert that I saw before COVID.
Mine too. Were you at the Harlow show in March? Oh my gosh. Was it not religious?
I know. We have to text next time, and we'll go out to dinner first.
Dude, that was truly a religious experience. And again,
I have video that I shot, so I'll put it in. I'll edit it in so people can see what we're talking about. He was amazing.
I'll send you the picture of the magazine he signed that we are both in. Blues Magazine out of the UK. He's on the cover. I have a spread inside it, and I showed him, and he was like, "Oh my God, a small world!" So I had him sign that. But so
That's
yeah,
awesome.
I'll send you those pictures. So yeah,
and his wife is amazing.
Yeah. Oh,
she's on drums.
Incredible. Yeah, she saved his life too. You know.
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Anyway, Stevie Ray Vaughan, he's a good example of someone that had something to say, and and then there's, so I tend to go for a raw acoustic-y sound. That's why I love playing dobro so much. Okay, well, I'll clean it up later. Sorry. Where was I?
Which one was that?
That was James.
James. Okay. How old is he?
4.
4. Got it.
So anyway, yeah, I tend to really love the sound of raw. That's why I love playing the dobro guitar, because it sounds how it sounds. I don't need a bunch of effects pedals or amps.
That's totally true.
And I love that, Okay, and then I have Otis Morning on saxophone and clarinet on various tracks, and then we had Justin and Brandon Au, who play with a lot of people on trumpet and trombone. So they contributed to a couple of tracks. And what was cool is one of the fun producer things Zach thought of was I was going to do backup vocals for the Gospel of Good Intentions.
Hi, my name's Katie Knipp, and welcome to the Red Couch. I even wore a red dress. Okay, so this is a song off my new album, my 6th release, called The Well, and the song is titled The Gospel of Good Intentions. It goes like this. Boards quick under my feet, my body rocks on your instability. I grab hold to what I know, but the wind decides where this vessel goes. Waves rolling on the black sky. It's true, I'm never ready for this kind of ride. Oh, my good intentions. Climb aboard your sinking ship, and all my rhymes and reasons are going down, down, down with you. We try to drop it, we try to drop this, but the anchor just swings in the deep. Nothing can stop this. I dive off the bow, feel the cold surround me, hoping when I come up, I can wake up and be clear like the water, sound in my eye. It's true, I'm never ready for this kind of ride. Let the belly of the sea come digest me. Kill plates, grab my ankles, pull me down till I'm still. Tides bring the body to show, the skin and bone ain't my soul's home anymore. Waves swell over the black sky. It's true, I wasn't ready for this kind of ride. Oh, my good intentions. Climb aboard your sinking ship,
I was gonna. Who? I had this idea of like this woom thing.
Yeah.
And he goes, the horns are here. Why don't you have them play those parts? And I was like,
Ooh.
yes. So the song is so much better because of that. I mean, I'm sick of my own voice and stuff anyway. As fun as harmonies are, and they definitely show up on the song Better Me. Again, as a producer, I feel like everything has to have a reason to be there. It has to add to the story. So much so that we had to subtract a lot of people's parts that they ripped on, because once we heard it all together, it was a little bit chaotic and didn't match with the story. And I found myself actually texting my guitarist saying, dude, I'm so sorry, but we just had to take out like 80% of your part on this song because it didn't fit now with the gospel vibe that it is now. And he's mature enough and wonderful enough and humble enough to totally understand.
Yeah.
But yeah, that sort of thing is hard because I want to feature everybody as much as possible because they're so dang talented. But the most important thing is still the story and making you feel something with the story. And so
no, it's great to hear that philosophy, that you have on, it'll give people watching, when they listen to your music, they'll be thinking of that, about how you're very, your intentions on everything they're hearing. I think that's awesome.
Thanks.
So I have to say, after the invention of the internet, I've seen a ton of super adorable, cat videos and kid videos and stuff like that. But I have to say that the number one most adorable video I've ever seen on the internet is the one that you took the morning Chamomile and Cocaine came out. Seriously, and we'll be showing it right here.
Was that the cartwheel one?
Yes.
In my pajamas?
Yes.
It's release day! That means, don't be a, click any of the links. Katie Knipp, Chamomile and Cocaine. Mwah.
Maybe I'll do another one for when the well actually releases.
It's release day! Show them, James. Okay, so if you got the download, it should be in your email right now. Thank you so much to everybody who's been purchasing this. It means the world to me. And we're on Spotify now and iTunes and Apple Music and everywhere you get your music, we're there. So thank you so much.
Hey, there you go. Well, that'll be good. Yeah, it was so freaking adorable. It was like watching my kids come into the living room on Christmas morning.
That was the goal. You know who inspired me to be as out there as possible is Peter Petty. He's really good at his advertisements that way.
And who is he?
Peter Petty. He's a really well-known big band jazz leader singer around Sacramento.
Oh, cool. And that was a question I had. Your band, are they all here in Sacramento, or are they spread out Bay Area, or where are they all?
For the most part, except my guitarist is in Roanoke Park area.
Okay.
Sonoma County. So, but everybody else
Awesome.
is local, Sacramento.
Where did you guys record, by the way?
We recorded at Papa Roach's old place, which is still kind of private. It's an incredible studio, though.
Is it in Fairfield?
In Sacramento. Fully stocked, fully incredible, grand piano in there.
Wow.
It's big, it's open enough to where we could do the COVID recording thing. We could separate ourselves and distance ourselves very, very well.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Sad I'd love you, think the world is against you. Sad I'd love you, think the world is against preacher, but you ain't got my sympathy. Sad-eyed love, you think the world is against you.
Incredible.
How long did it take to record this album?
Oh, we were in the studio for only about 3 days, maybe 3-4 days.
After not rehearsing going in there,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Thanks. And really only some parts were just there 1 day, 1 or 2 days. 2 days were for the rhythm section, and then
Wow.
my extra days, of course, of overdubbing the vocal part and stuff came.
Yeah, and it goes without saying, but I've heard you so many times already that, you know, it seems you have a lot of pride with this album.
I do. I'm excited. I feel like it's my best work for sure.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really great.
I feel like everybody should feel this way, that each thing they do is better because it's growth, you know?
If you're paying attention, and yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so yeah, I'm excited, and I'm encouraged by people that are finding me all over the world where I don't know. They're not a Facebook friend or anything, but they're still finding my music, like as far as Australia and Finland and stuff. I'm like, how did you find me? Okay, I'm gonna go with it. And
You know, you've done a couple of videos on your Facebook page about where you were hearing, you know, I don't know if you were being interviewed or they were at least playing some of your music. What was it like on French radio or something?
oh yeah.
How cool is that? How does that make you feel?
Amazing. It encourages me to do a European tour once all this COVID stuff's done, really. And I have the booking agent to set us up for that. So I'm ready. You know, I know that my style, because it is roots based, will probably do a little bit better over yonder in Europe. You know, it's always been that way.
We've talked about the brand new album, and we've also talked a little bit about COVID. Did you find yourself, I know you did a few live streams, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how did those come about? How long did it take you to do that? You know, let's say, you know, after March of last year, and how'd you go about organizing all that?
Live streams I only did as a solo act or a duet. Because it was just too hard. Again, if we could get together to do that, then we could get together to rehearse and then record what we rehearsed. So it was just me, and it was fun while I did it. But to be honest, I'm completely burnt out on the live stream thing. I'm uninspired by it. I like having living, breathing people actually in front of me, you know?
Yes, I do.
And the return on investment just doesn't seem to be enough, you know? Some of my favorite one, I think, was the one that the Sophia hosted, and also an organization called Can't Stop the Blues. They were actually featured in Forbes magazine. So
Wow.
Their reach has been very strong, but other than that, I'm ready to get back on real stages. So live streams were just kind of a
means to an end. Well, I mean, I guess it was better than nothing.
Better than nothing. But luckily I'm so busy in my life with my littles and teaching piano lessons over FaceTime and stuff. And now promoting this album, recording it and then promoting it. I'm so busy that it's totally fine to not have to strive for those live streams that just, I think everyone else is burnt out on them too. Like audience, people just, I know super famous people where people still totally flake on their live stream. It's just, it's not the same.
No, I actually, my band played on Saturday for the first time in.
My friend Susan was there.
She was?
Yes.
How cool. What'd she think?
She said it was such a breath of fresh air and such a nice surprise, and that you guys sounded exactly like the real cover songs you were covering.
Oh, good. Yeah. It's
She
fun. But
felt like life was breathed into her. So good job.
Oh, thank you. Well, you know, at the very beginning, we actually had a little crowd. I you know, it was an outdoor event, and I said, how many of you, raise your hand if this is the first live music you've seen since last March? And like almost everybody.
Yeah.
That is such an odd, surreal thing.
Yeah.
Crazy. And it was so weird to be on the stage, you know, and there was plenty of distancing, you know, it was an outdoor thing, but it was such an odd, I don't know. It's like one of those weird, you know, if someone were to tell either of us we'd be doing all this stuff 2 years ago, it's craziness.
So crazy.
But it's great that you are definitely one of the success stories of getting through all of this. And big time. I mean, for you to do an album during a pandemic is amazing. So before I move on to other stuff, why The Well? Why that name?
My bass player, Zach, was like, there's a lot of random water themes happening in the songs. Did you notice that? And I was like, you're right. And he goes, well, the title should have something to do with water. I don't know what. I was like, okay. And then I settled on The Well because it's a perfect analogy of well of emotions, well of ideas.
Mm-hmm. That's cool.
So
that's awesome.
Deep. It's deep and there's water.
Exactly. Well, I want to get into some of the early years of Katie.
All right.
So what is one of your, well, where did you grow up, by the way?
I grew up in Concord in the East Bay.
Okay.
Hey guys, keep your voices down. Sorry.
That's okay. So what is your first memory? What comes up when I ask you what your first memory of having the desire to actually play music yourself?
Fourth grade, I took clarinet. And then in the fifth grade, I realized I was way too much of a ham not to be the singer. So I sang from fifth grade on, but I used my theory learning from clarinet to help read music as a singer. And starting in the middle of high school, around 16, I started teaching myself piano, and then I got a music degree in college too.
And where'd you go to college?
I finished at Cal State Hayward, and then before that, It was UC Santa Cruz, and before that, Diablo Valley College.
When you started with the clarinet, did you grow up in a musical family?
No.
Okay. So before the clarinet, was there any burning desire to learn an instrument, or that kind of sparked it?
That just sparked it. You know, it was fun. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's great.
Yeah.
So if you had to pick like your instrument, which one would that be?
Voice.
That's great. Good answer.
That's what my degree's in.
Oh, wow.
My degree's in music with an emphasis in vocal performance, which means, especially where I was going, it was opera all the way. I mean, I still every day do all those warm-ups and stuff to keep in shape. But yeah, and then I would say piano second, dobro third, as far as order of experience. But I really do love all of them a lot.
Yeah.
Someone just said online that I should just be a front woman. And I was like, but I really like playing instruments and singing.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Only us vocalists ever refer to the voice as an instrument. Nobody else does.
Yeah. Oh, well. I'll never forget. Actually, I was in a cover band when I was like 18 or 19. And there was this really good electric guitar player kid in the band with me. And I remember him saying to me one day, well, you're not a musician, you're just a singer. Mm-hmm. And this was while I was getting my music degree.
Oof.
because I was 19, I believe. Yeah.
I can see the disdain on your
So
face
I
as you're
was
thinking
like,
about this.
Okay. And so I decided to teach myself guitar after that and add a third instrument. And then I added harmonica after that. I don't know what he's doing now, but he ain't doing what I'm doing. So
So I learned guitar and kicked him out of the band.
now I'm playing. Oh, well. Anyway.
Nope, that's awesome.
God
That's
bless him.
perfect.
I wish him well. Whatever he's up to.
That scenario is exactly what I was referring to earlier.
Exactly.
Well, this is a song called Chamomile and Cocaine, and it's off the well as well. It's fine. We can all be dorks together.
So what celebrity, doesn't have to be a musician, have you met, someone that you were maybe starstruck by or overwhelmed with meeting them in person?
Alan Toussaint. Alan Toussaint, God bless him, R.I.P. He was the king of New Orleans.
Wow.
And he, I remember I saw him at Yoshi's in Jack London Square in Oakland, and it was my birthday, and I got to sit in the very front. And just sitting in the front was like, okay, cool, my life is complete. But then at the end, he's like tossing out Mardi Gras beads and t-shirts to everybody. And I caught a t-shirt and I was like, now this is the best day of my life. But it didn't end there.
Oh,
We go back to the hotel, we go to bed, we wake up in the morning, go down to breakfast, and there he is in the breakfast nook in all his glory with his band. And I was like,
wow.
I turn around and I'm like buttering my bagel and I'm like, be cool, Katie, be cool. Just don't make a fool out of yourself. It's cool. So I turn around and I've got my bagel on my plate and I look at him. And I go, you guys sounded amazing last night. This was such a great birthday present. Thank you. And he goes, oh, thank you so much. I'm glad you enjoyed the show. And I forced myself to like walk away and not hover and be like, blah, blah, blah. So it didn't end there. We are in the elevator with our luggage ready to check out. And then I start to squealing. And my husband was like, Katie, shh, you know he's going to be right outside the elevator. Just calm yourself. And I was like, elevator doors open, and there he is again.
Wow.
Tall, amazing, just the most graceful man in the world. He gets in the elevator with us, and I'm like, again, telling myself, be cool, don't say a bunch of dumb stuff, like, just take a deep breath. Elevator doors open again. As he's exiting, he starts to sing happy birthday to me. It was the best day of my life.
Wow.
Yes, and if you don't know who Alan Toussaint is,
I do.
Google him. Okay, good.
Oh, I'll show
Some
something.
people don't because he was a little bit more in the background of things. But yeah, he's an incredible force in the world.
I mean, seriously, yeah. I was wondering why when I asked you that, you had the answer right away. And now I know.
But
what an amazing experience.
I've opened for some celebrities, and I was a little starstruck by John Cleary because I've actually been studying him. Like I have this book I really like. Actually, here's Alan Toussaint right here. Anyway,
Wow.
so I pick apart this stuff, this New Orleans piano styles. And
Yeah.
anyway, John Cleary is a really great artist as far as New Orleans piano. And so I remember it was at the Sophia in Sacramento, and I kind of hovered. He was like sitting down on his laptop, and I was like, so now I feel like a dork for all the conversations I tried to bring up when he was really just trying to get work done before another concert and stuff. And anyway, that's probably the only time I hovered. And then I learned my lesson. I opened for a bunch of other people, and I kept my distance and
You regret it?
only talked as much as I felt was necessary.
I know what you mean. But do you regret it?
No.
Okay.
No. And
Well,
his
that's good.
wife was really cool.
No. Do you regret holding back on the other celebrities and not approaching them?
No, because I think maybe it helped that I wasn't really starstruck with the others, so I could actually feel human around them anyway, if that makes sense. Like
It
I
does.
could actually be normal. So everything felt normal.
which takes a lot of effort. I can hear a lot of self-talk going on later. Oh, that's awesome. So who else have you opened for? You told me a couple of them. You've opened for some good ones.
Yeah, so one of my first big opening X spot was for the Doobie Brothers, and this was probably 10 years ago, more than 10 years ago. And then I did a little mini tour opening for Robert Cray, and he was
That's a good one.
Yeah, I did 3 shows at 3 theaters. He was a very graceful, gentle soul, super nice. I enjoyed his whole crew so much. I actually baked them muffins for the last night that I was going to be with them. I was like, here you guys go. I'm such a mom. I'm like, these are nutritious. There's no sugar in them. Anyway.
And wasn't that before you were a mom?
No, while I was a mom. Robert Craig was only like 2 years ago, three years ago. 3 years ago.
Okay.
Anyway, and then I've opened for Joe Louis Walker, Joan Osborne with Jackie Green.
Wow.
And John Cleary, Ruthie Foster. Ruthie was the nicest of everybody. Her and I were actually like hanging together, and that was really nice. She heard me play slide and she said I should have joined her on stage, which made me feel like $1 million.
No kidding.
And then the James Hunter Six, they were a fun group to open for.
I'm not familiar with that one. Where are they from?
The UK. So he kind of sounds like Sam Cooke, and he has a nice horn section and stuff. They're on Daptone Records, which is the guy that kind of launched Amy Winehouse. And the Daptones, have you heard of Sharon King and the Daptones?
I have.
Sharon King's dead now, but the Daptones has their label Daptone Records. So that's that affiliation. But anyway, a year ago, almost to the date, I had a really fun experience opening for William Duvall of Alice in Chains. He took over lead singer role after Lane died.
Yeah.
That was really fun. That was at Cornerstone in Berkeley. And I didn't
realize he did solo stuff. That's great.
Yeah. And he's really good. He plays acoustic guitar and sings. And that was really fun. They felt like my people, the audience there. I just felt really cozy. A lot of these other opening act spots where I'm by myself on stage. I don't have a band for all these because they want an easy set transition.
Yeah.
So it can be very nerve-wracking and really kick up my stage fright quite a bit because, I mean, think about the logistics. Nobody's there to see you. They're there to see the person that's on their ticket.
Mm-hmm.
And you're by yourself. So you're doing all the things, and you're supposed to warm them up. So you also have to be in the space of, it's not really about you, it's about them. Get out of your head, entertain, make them laugh too. So one of the things that actually helps me is on my set list, I remind myself of little stories I might tell in between songs, just quick ones, but goofy stories to where I end up laughing and they laugh, and it kind of puts everybody at ease. But it is an incredible feeling to like actually win them over every time.
Yeah.
And sell a ton of merch and stuff at those shows. But that show with William Duvall, it just felt super cozy. And for once, I didn't feel like a complete nervous wreck like I have the last couple of years. I don't know what it was, but it just felt really good. And so. Well,
those are the great moments.
Yeah. Jimmy Vaughn was one.
Oh,
for Jimmy Vaughn too.
Oh, him.
Actually, he's the one person I didn't get a chance to meet officially, but that's okay. Everybody was busy, and I was busy too. And
well, he'll want to meet you one day. So you did bring up something interesting. How are you with stage fright? Is it something you used to have and now you don't, or?
No, it seems to be worse as I've gotten older, but I think that just has to do with the bigger shows I've gotten as I've gotten older. So it's just a constant thing I'm working on. I practice meditation. I really try to be as healthy as possible because I feel like if you're not healthy as far as exercise, eating, sleeping, all of those bad feelings that can come up can be amplified. So it's kind of made me a little bit of a health nut actually to watch it because I don't know, like I thought I was going to black out once on stage. And,
wow.
And I remember I had forgotten to eat that day. I just was so busy, and I thought I was gonna like throw up and pass out, and I was like, this is terrible. I'm gonna from now on make sure to eat like healthy, balanced meals throughout the day, and definitely don't be hungover, you know.
Well, you know, according to one of your recent videos, your kids just think you eat food all the time.
Wasn't that funny?
All right. So this is James, and James made a portrait of his mommy. And the portrait is mommy eating. Because apparently all I do is eat. So if anybody wanted to make me feel a little more worthy today, they'd buy my CD on Bandcamp. Because I'm also a music maker, not just an eater.
My name's Tommy. My name's Donnie.
Yeah, but you know what I was thinking? I'm glad he didn't draw me with the cell phone in my hand, because that is a lot of parents out there. And
That's
it's
true.
me too, because I have to conduct a lot of my business from my phone. So I'm actually really kind of relieved that it was food that was in my hand.
Well, you know what they say if right. Well, you know what they say if you're feeling too good about yourself, just ask a child to draw a picture of you. That'll humble you right away.
I'll never forget waking up one morning and I roll over and Tommy was about 3 and I go, Mommy has a big show tonight. And he like looks at me and he goes, you smell like old mac and cheese. That was his response to Mommy has a big show tonight. And I was like, all right, humbling me.
Wow, everybody's a
Great.
critic. That's awesome. Oh man. So do your kids do they I mean, I know they're a big part of your life. It's awesome watching all the interaction and stuff. Do they get involved with you with music when you're playing?
They're a little too little to be in.
Well, I meant like if you're just fooling around on the piano, do they, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, especially in the back room where I have the microphone set up. They like to play on the microphone and be even louder than they are.
That's awesome.
But I do have to make sure they're careful around Mommy's touring instruments, Yeah. So I'm glad that we have a piano here that they can bang on anytime.
Yep.
I never had a piano like that when I was growing up,
Me neither.
And
That's really great.
I got lucky with this one, by the way. I'm not rich. So.
What do you mean you got lucky? What's the story?
It's an amazing story. I took private lessons from a man named Joe Barnett for 8 years, piano and voice. So even though I had my music degree stuff and teachers there, I knew that there was more to my voice than opera stuff. And so he brought out the rest. He helped me bring out the other styles and also taught me private piano. So he died tragically at the age of 46. Kidney cancer. All of a sudden, he was gone in 3 months, just like that.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm a big believer in the law of attraction because it's completely worked for me. And this is an example of that. So my friend Chet bought a grand piano that happened to be owned by Dave Brubeck. And so I posted on Facebook like 5 years ago, I said, I'm so happy for my friend Chet. Someday I hope to have a piano like this. Joe's widow, Becky, saw my post and she was like, I would like to sell you Joe's piano. And she could have taken it to a dealer and gotten like 4 times the amount that she sold it to me for. So
that's amazing.
What's even crazier is that when I wrote down the list of exactly what I wanted in detail in my life, one of them did include having a son, because we were having trouble at the time trying to conceive. I pictured a grand piano in front of a bay window. There's a bay window right in front of me. And I wasn't in this house when I wrote down the details, okay? So when they delivered the piano and I stood back and I saw this bay window and the black grand piano, I just started to cry. I was like, okay, if anybody doesn't believe in the law of attraction, like, they're crazy. Because I mean, every single thing, and I revisit it. I update my list like every 6 months, and I keep checking things off that are happening. And it's because I'm focusing on these things in detail. And
Hey, if it ain't broke.
it works. It's crazy.
I also get the impression that you have this energy about you that probably sucks things in. the vortex of Katie's personality and energy.
Oh, well, thanks. It's funny. I have to monitor my attitude big time though. There's times where I don't feel in the mood, and so I won't communicate as much with people if I feel like my heart isn't there. I really have to kind of monitor my attitude of gratitude all the time. It doesn't just happen for me. I have to focus on it and meditate on it in order to keep giving back and receiving and everything.
But the fact that you think about it and you pay attention to it is huge. A lot of people don't even get that far.
Yeah, and gosh, I want to shake some people and tell them, like, that's everything. Like, if you can truly get that gratitude thing going inside fully, all the good things that you want will come to you. They just will.
Well, it seems to be happening for you. So we had a conversation, and I was originally, one of my questions was why the blues? But then you told me of some things that have happened to you in your life that it's almost like it could only be the blues that you could end up doing. Can you tell me a little bit about those things?
Yeah, I think one of the things that kicked off writing my own songs fully was I witnessed a suicide on my 21st birthday. Sorry, I didn't want my kids to hear that.
Yeah.
So it's very gory and very terrible. And even before that though, like I was a couple years before that, I was lifeguarding at Waterworld when the slide 6 stories up broke because 40 kids piled on it. So it was like raining bodies, and one girl died. I remember one kid like fell on his jaw and bit off his tongue, and like there are tons of broken bones, and basically it looked like a total war zone. So I had all these weird experiences of, some PTSD going on that I thought was pretty strange because I hadn't gone to war, but somehow I was there during these situations. So,
these are pretty tragic things though. This is not somebody breaking a nail or getting an fender bender. You know what I mean? Those are pretty big things that you went through.
Yeah. And so thank goodness for music and writing. And then as far as style of music, I just love the way I feel when I sing blues. I've been singing it in clubs. I remember before being 21, when I was 18, I was forced to stand outside the club. And then when it was my turn to sing, I'd sing my blues numbers and then get back outside. The good old days. But so the instruments slowly caught up to the voice that I've always loved to sing in. And then the writing is what it is, a lot of it is autobiographical, but I think the last couple of records I've definitely enjoyed getting a lot more fictional sometimes I'll intertwine some truth, but it's fun to tell stories, you know. It's fun to listen to news stories like on NPR and then develop your own, or even ideas from movies. I love Coen Brothers movies. I get a lot of ideas from Coen Brothers, actually.
Really? Music ideas?
Yeah. Yeah.
You have an example off the top of your head?
Yeah, the song Gone to Town off my Nice to Meet You EP is based on the adaptation from the book No Country for Old Men.
Wow. Pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm always looking for stories because I can't write about those few tragic incidents forever. You know, that's just something that spawned me into writing. But
now you told me that you did write kind of a not a normal song for you after one of those incidents. It was kind of a getting the anger out.
Well, I did finally write about that suicide incident only on the last record, Take It With You. It's called Santa Cruz Blues.
Oh, okay.
But it's so upbeat that at first you don't even know what it's about. But it was nice to get it out the way I did because it's still really fun to perform. It's not some slow, sad song. It rocks, you know.
A scream I never heard. The coroner left the blanket off to snap a bunch of pictures. The wind picked up and shook my bones, but I couldn't walk away. A terrible force, the devil himself, stood right in my way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I literally just listened to that yesterday.
Oh, okay. So yeah.
But I had no idea that was the song. So I'll have to go back and listen to it.
Yeah. So I turned it into a barnstormer and then moved on. And so.
Good. Very healthy, Katie.
Thanks.
So before kids and after kids, how's that, if it has, how has that changed your music?
It changed it completely, and I feel like it's the entire reason for my success, because before kids, I think I wasted a little too much time. I probably drank too much. I probably watched too much TV. I probably blamed other people for any lack of success I had. Once I had kids and valued a minute of time.
Oh, believe me.
I became overwhelmingly grateful for that minute that I'd get at the piano or whatever. So those minutes are no longer wasted. When I sit down to write, there's no BS. There's no me trying to be anybody else. Every minute I use is productive. You know.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
did it take you a while to, let me see if I can form this the right way. I mean, when you're a musician and a writer, I've had kids your kids' age. So, and I don't, they're all older now, but when you don't have kids, or they're not around, you kind of, some people tend to, I'm not in the mood to write right now. Or I'll do it later, or you're just not feeling it. But when you do have to focus and you're like, I only got a half an hour. Did you have to train yourself to kind of get in the moment?
not really train myself. I just use the power of the notes app in the phone. So when I was like in breastfeeding mode at like 3 a.m, sometimes I'd write a sentence in my notes app. So over time you have these sentences. So when I sit down now, I have these things I can refer to as I do a musical lick or something. I'll look through my sentences I've written and be like, okay, can a story be formed around that? Cool.
I could get my phone and scroll through. I do the same thing.
Yeah. There you go.
To finish up, you told me about a great opportunity that you had when you were in high school, I believe, to be on stage.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
I sang backup for Barry Manilow. It was my first big gig, 20,000 people. I think we did 3 or 4 shows at different like arenas or whatever.
Was that Concord Pavilion?
Yeah, so Concord Pavilion, Shoreline Amphitheater, Golden Gate Theater. It was cool. I'd like to think of it as a foreshadowing, you know, the whole like leading you backstage with flashlights.
Okay, but there was one moment you had.
There was one moment I had where I was admiring his backup singer taking a solo. He was not on stage at the time. It was all about her. And I was just admiring her so much. And the security guard was like, hey, you don't want to be back here because Barry's changing. And he's pointing as he's saying that. So my eyes follow his point. And there he is. Barry Manilow is naked. And there's like this curtain in front of him, but it's full of holes with a light inside. So the light is just beaconing on his white, skinny flesh. And I was like, oh.
And you were how old?
16.
How has there not been a song about that?
I don't know. It's more fun to tell you. Maybe I'll write about it. I don't know. I don't want to throw him under the bus.
No. But it gave everybody a mental image, so you're writing it all the time. So one last thing. Do you have a special non-musical skill that no one knows about? No one, other than your family.
Martial arts.
Really?
I got an advanced brown belt, so I quit right before a black belt to get my degree in music.
Wow. Well, you can always pick it back up though, right?
Yeah. It's just time. I'd rather do music.
I've done martial arts. I know how long it takes to get to that level. That was a big accomplishment.
Thanks. I'm actually glad I'm not a black belt, because then you're a lethal weapon, and there's actually legal issues with defending yourself sometimes, because anyway, yeah. Yeah,
man. Look at you. You're like this close to being a lethal weapon. So people have to be careful now. So hey, Katie, thank you so much. I know you got to go. So thank you so much for doing this. I can't tell you how grateful I am.
Thanks for
super fun.
It was fun.
Okay, bye.
Bye.